You ever wonder what the checkout person thinks about the selection of music you're buying? I did. So yeah, I know that they probably see so much stuff they don't even think about it. But every once in a while, I just kind of wonder if, especially when you're kind of a regular at a store and you kind of buy a lot of the same stuff, or I don't know. It just seems when you go up there and you've got things that are kind of like what I would consider polar opposites. I just wonder sometimes if they kind of scratch their head and wonder. I mean, a lot of us have diverse music tastes, right? Well, recently, just the other day, I went to my local store. Now, the thing is, this guy actually he didn't question it, but I'll tell you that in a second. So, go to my local store. Really, all I needed was some bags. But at the local store that I go to, they have this policy: if you buy something new, you get 25% off of something used. So I felt bad because I'm flipping through. I really didn't intend to buy anything except bags. But you know how that is. You go into a record store alone with no wife or anybody to hold you up. I'm flipping through and I happen to stumble across this. I picked up the new reissue, the deluxe edition of Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell. Now, the reason I grabbed it, it was a regular, a decent price. It's a double record set. It's got, the album, this is the classic first Dio album. It's got one album and it's got a second album of bonus tracks, live stuff along that line. So it's a great little package. I saw them, had them on my wish list back in the day when they came out, but then they just kind of started disappearing fairly quick. This and Mob Rules, and I did not grab them. And next thing I know, people were asking lots of higher prices for them. Well, I can find them if I dig deep enough online for regular prices. But I thought, support local business. They had it. They had 2 copies, but they didn't have Mob Rules. Went ahead and grabbed it. I thought, I could probably get it for about the same online, maybe a little more. So I went ahead and grabbed it. And yeah, it's a great little set. Here, let me show you actually. If you're not familiar with this, it's a gatefold. It's got all kinds of information and stuff in here. So anyway, double record set, great stuff. I did ask if they could get Mob Rules, but so now I feel compelled I've got to find something used to get because I get a discount. I'd hate to waste a discount, right? So I looked through all the new stuff all the new used stuff that came in, and there was quite a few things I kind of wanted, but honestly, the store's prices have gotten, their used stuff. I mean, when you're seeing a used record they're wanting $20 a plus on, I don't know, I'm like having a hard time shelling out that kind of money, unless it's something that is pretty amazing in my opinion. So I grabbed this Billy Cobham's. Now this is the music on vinyl edition. It was still in the sealed music on vinyl bag. I had the guy, I said, can we go ahead and open it and take a look at it, which I normally do, but since it was a double sealed bag, I didn't want to do it. But anyway, we pulled it out, and it was in a MoFi sleeve, which I don't think any of my previous music on vinyl releases were on MoFi sleeves. So I'm assuming that this is the last customer who had it. I mean, it's in pristine condition. It was like new. And the fact that I'm getting 25% off, and it was a little, pricier than I wanted for a used record, but 25% off brought it down into a very sweet spot. It's a single album, but it is a gatefold. Now, if you're not familiar, this is what the guy picked up the record, and he's like, "So, what is this? Is this like jazz or something?" So I was first taken aback by, you don't know who Billy Cobham is, but anyway, that neither here nor there. I mean, he's been around. That album came out in '73. This is really what started it. I believe this was his first album, according to what I'm finding online. This was his first, at least, solo album for Billy Cobham. And I've had this album for years. Now, let me briefly just say, I discovered Billy Cobham in like 84-ish, because that's when I first started getting into jazz of any kind. I discovered Spyro Gyra. I had a friend who I was jamming with, and he liked the stuff, and he gave me some stuff, and I listened to it. And Billy Cobham was one of them, and these were the first 2 I got. So these are his 80s releases. A little more what I would call contemporary, modern, smooth jazzy type thing, whereas some of his other stuff is a little more of the fusion, like this first album. But fell in love with these albums. Still looking for them on vinyl. They're not expensive, just, you know, one of those things where you're looking for them in the wild. Wasn't too long after that, one of the other records that they had in the 80s at the store that I used to go to was this. It looked like it is an import, but it just was there staring me in the face, and I thought I gotta get it. Billy Cobham's Glass Menagerie. And it is, I guess, a special group that he did. This came out like in 81. And I got this back in the day. This is the original CD, and, you know, limited compact disc reference edition. So it was like a special thing back when CDs were first coming out. Actually, it came out in 81, but yeah, I guess this CD would have been shortly thereafter. This, I forget what year this was released. It was recorded in 81, though. Anyway, this is a little more of the classic stuff. It's actually got the song Stratus on here, which is one of the big hits from the Spectrum album. Absolutely fell in love with this freaking album. It is just amazing stuff. He is an amazing, amazing drummer. Just my hero when it comes to jazz drumming. And it wasn't too long after that I did pick up Spectrum. So I've had these CDs for quite a while. And this is my first actual Billy Cobham on vinyl, and like I say, I'm looking for more of his stuff out there. I just don't see him in the wild that much when I look. That and Spyro Gyra, I have picked up a couple of those, and they did have a couple there, but I chose to go with this rather than picking up another Spyro Gyra. But anyway, the guy was just interesting. I don't know. I walk up to the Black Sabbath and a Billy Cobham, and he's like, "What is this, jazz?" And then he took a picture of it. I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, Billy Cobham, phenomenal jazz. He's still around. He still plays. He still makes great music." I just, you know, dig all that stuff. So it was kind of cute. I'm like, all right, I'll check out now. Thank you very much. Got a discount on that. Brought it home. Listened to it. Sounds sweet. Just cranked it up. But anyway, that's all I wanted to share for now. I got more. I'll be back. Rock on and rock hard.